The American Institute for the Study of War has stated that Russian troops are exhausted near Bakhmut and will not be able to hold on for a long time. The army of the Federation suffers heavy losses in this direction, but is unable to break through the defenses of the armed forces of Ukraine.
They have problems with ammunition, there is a lack of shells, everyone says this. They are running out of ammunition. It is clear that they will not run out to the end and will be sent to certain areas where they are needed more. So in this case, it is the Bakhmut direction. There they are trying to conduct artillery fire, trying to break through our defense line. As for missiles, other weapons, we know they have problems with the components because sanctions are preventing the mass delivery of the spare parts that are needed to design, produce missiles.
However, Russia still has the strength to continue fighting by mobilizing and reactivating old Soviet weapons, experts say. There is no expectations of silence at the front, nor will the attacks on the peaceful Ukrainian cities stop. In an interview with The Voice of America, former Commander-in-Chief of NATO forces in Europe, General James Jones, stressed that missile terror is a sign of the weakness of the Russian army.
Now, with the onset of winter, they have resorted to attacking critical infrastructure and civilian facilities to a greater extent than the military in order to create chaos and difficulties for the Ukrainian people. But the Russian strategy now seems to be to launch devastating missile strikes against civilian infrastructure, which I consider a war crime. James Jones, United States European Command and Supreme Allied Commander Europe from 2003 to 2006, in an interview with Voice of America.
Jones is sure Putin counted on the fact that the war would be short and that NATO would not react to it. However, the support of civilized democracies for Ukraine is unprecedented. Now the Kremlin is ready to go to any extent to achieve negotiations with Kiev.
They hope that the Ukrainian population, who may be without electricity, without heat in the cold season due to these strikes, will demand that the military and political leadership end the war, sit down at the negotiation table with Russia in order to accept Russian conditions. Let's say signing a ceasefire, a truce. And this ceasefire can give the Russians an opportunity to accumulate forces and means, accumulate ammunition, accumulate equipment, conduct mobilization without interference, and then already from more favorable positions to repeat the attack on Ukraine.
The former Commander-in-Chief of NATO forces in Europe said that the partners of Ukraine must support Kiev until victory at the front.
Ukraine, I believe, is fated to be at the forefront of European defense for a long time, depending on what happens in Russia. Here are three things that I think are extremely important: fast delivery of assistance, provision of humanitarian aid, and a long-term plan for the reconstruction of Ukraine. As soon as all of this becomes a reality, the battle will be over. James Jones, United States European Command and Supreme Allied Commander Europe from 2003 to 2006, in an interview with Voice of America.
In addition, James Jones is convinced that providing Ukraine with necessary defensive weapons, such as the Patriot systems, could become a restraining factor for the use of the S-400 surface-to-air missile systems and even nuclear weapons by Russia. Reported by Roman Smoler, Larisa Zubenko, UATV News.